Looks like we're about ready to start.
Beautiful.
Where will I? You just stand there and wait for me to introduce you. You're going to go first.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Jay Lassiter. I'm a board member of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana of New Jersey. And we are here actually to mark a couple of occasions. One, we're marking the 3 years it's been since its law has been signed and continues to languish. And more symbolically and importantly to us personally, we're here to memorialize the 10-year anniversary of Cheryl Miller, who was the patient who basically inspired our coalition. When she passed away 10 years ago, she fought to her last breath to make sure that medical cannabis would see the light of day in New Jersey. And it's our job to ensure her legacy by making sure not only that the law passed, because that happened 3 years ago, but that it's implemented properly. The first person that we're going to hear from today is the widower of Cheryl Miller, our angel. His name is Jim Miller, and he's got a few words to share with you guys. And I'm going to hold the sign if you don't mind.
I thought that. I'm wonderful. Appreciate it. Yeah, when Cheryl died 10 years ago today, 9:35 a.m., she had a shirt on identifying herself as a medical marijuana patient. So when somebody says they were advocates till the day they died, sometimes it's literally true. Before I start, I'd like to ask something. How many people have never been in the State House before? Anybody? Thank you. You're Cheryl's legacy. I appreciate that. That was her goal, was to show people that you can show up, that it's not a level playing field when you fight with sick people that can't stick up for themselves, and their caregivers can't take them out because they're too sick, or they would be then not caring for them. It's not a fair fight. There's very little about this playing field that is fair, but where it is level, we got to get good, really good at showing up where we can, like we are today. This is a beginning of fixing the law. It started yesterday with a very important bill passing through the Senate Judiciary Committee. That would be the first meaningful change in this law. I might say that it was, as you'll be hearing, brought about by the plight of a 2-year-old girl with Dravet syndrome, a form of epilepsy. And when as a 2-year-old girl, people listened. And when Cheryl showed up, people listened. You know, she could only move her head. And her family recognized that this is something more important than a family issue. It's an issue for all of us. And the fact that they're Megan and Brian Wilson's legislator or senator is Senator Scutari, he hopped on it. So in somewhere around 6.5 weeks from finding out that there was a problem, the bill got written, posted, 2 committees, identical concurrent bill, and passed out of committee in the Senate. It can happen faster than we've been led to believe. It doesn't take 3 years to regulate, and it doesn't take 2.5 years from the time that it could have been done to listen to patients, you know. I mean, it's like the show Undercover Boss. I mean, it's the same thing. You go down and you get where, with the people it affects, you come back with information. We're never allowed to be part of that equation. It's up to patients and their families to press for inclusion, because what was wrong with the bill, we don't know who did it and when, who's going to fix it, we barely know that. And we need to know as it's happening. If the coalition, I might say, had been included from the beginning as we offered, we have access to all the questions that you might have about what's going on in New Jersey with medical marijuana law, the hows, whys, and whats. If we don't have the answers, we know exactly who to go to find out. We are totally not a used resource, and we could have, if we were included, we'd all be doing something else today, enjoying bad weather somewhere else. So I could say a lot of things that would double up on what other people are going to say. I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to point out that everybody here who is concerned about this, you need to get in touch with your legislators and be in constant contact with them. You are their political cover, just like Megan and Brian and Vivian are Senator Ceaseless covered. Why could he do this quick? Because he'd turn around and say, this is why. We have to give our legislators physical, tangible reasons to use us as the political cover that they need. So if it's your first time here, it's not going to be your last, I hope. We're going to be doing some more things. The larger event that's been corralled into here because of the weather will take place at another time. The health department's not going anywhere, neither are we. So thanks everybody for coming, and I look forward to hearing what it's
Thanks, Jim. Jim will be available after this press conference if any of you guys have any follow-up questions. This, the issue of medical cannabis in New Jersey is a bipartisan one. When it was voted on 3 years ago, there were lots of Republicans and almost all of the Democrats. So until Chris Christie came along, this issue was moving pretty much at the rate of public opinion, and it seemed to be moving in the right direction. We're proud to be nonpartisan. We have Republicans in our coalition. In fact, there's one here today. His name is Justin, and I'm sure he would be the first person to tell you that his party is neglecting science. And
not for the first time.
Much to his chagrin, you know, whether it's sort of ignoring climate change or not acknowledging evolution or sort of playing fast and loose with medicine when it comes to women's health and medical cannabis. It seems like one party shares a little bit more of that blame than others. So we do care about science, and our next speaker is the director of our coalition. His name is Ken Walski, and he is an actual medical professional, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the science of cannabis, medical cannabis.
Thank you, Jay. My name is Ken Walski, and yes, I am a registered nurse, and I've been an RN in the state of New Jersey for 38 years. The last 10 years, I've been executive director of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey. I want to welcome you to the Cheryl Miller Memorial. Cheryl was a medical marijuana activist who died of multiple sclerosis in 2003. I only met her once, but she was a real trooper. She never let bad weather or anything else stand in the way of speaking out about medical marijuana. Sadly, Cheryl died before she was ever able to get legal access to medical marijuana. But even sadder still, patients are still dying today without getting medical marijuana access, even though they are legally entitled to this access. For example, 25,000 hospice patients in New Jersey die every 6 months without the medicine that they are legally entitled to get. And this medicine can help hospice patients in so many ways in the last months of their life. The medicinal marijuana program is broken. It's dysfunctional, and the governor shows no interest in fixing it. The regulations that the Department of Health imposed on this program are so restrictive that they're strangling it. The regulations call, for example, for a physician registry. It's not called for in the law. But this physician registry is so unpopular that only 1% of the doctors in the state have signed up to participate in this program. And this alone disqualifies 99% of the patients in the state. We're here today to call on the Christie administration to turn the medicinal marijuana program into a working program. And if the Christie administration refuses and continues to refuse to do this, we're calling on the legislature to make this, to amend this law and to make it a working program. And finally, if the legislature and the Christie administration refuse to do this, we're calling on the judiciary to make this medical marijuana program work. We can do no less for the hundreds of thousands of patients who are suffering needlessly in this state, and we can do no less for the memory of Cheryl Miller. Thank you.